Okay. Shekharji, we have to start from here. Vam Marg Rata Vasa Shiva Vam Vamangvasini.
So the next nama is Vama Marga Ratha. Vama Marga Ratha. Vama, left. Marga, path. Ratha, one who is attached. So Vama Marga Ratha means one who is attached to the Vama Marga, normally translated as left-handed path, but it is a technical term that defines a set of practices in Tantra. So Vama Marga is a kind of practice or a set of practices in certain Tantras. So Vama Marga Ratha is Devi who is attached to the Vamachara or the Vama Marga. Okay. Now, these terminologies are unfortunately because of limited exposure or partial exposure to the Tantra Siddhanta, misunderstood as the paths which are or which have elements which is not acceptable in the current society. Okay, I'll be a bit more explicit also. Vamamarga involves the usage of certain items such as the the skin, teeth, skulls, etc. And also the prayoga is a bit fierce in the sense the prayoga performed in the cremation ground, the smashana sadhana, etc. That also is an element of the Vama Marga. Now, Vama Marga Ratha, Devi is considered to be attached to the Vama Marga. We have normally this question coming to us because of the conditioning that we have been put into or we have been subjected to. How can mother expect such behavior? Or how does such conduct be justified on ethical or moral grounds, etc.? Now, the answer is this. The tantras are prescriptive in nature, but at the same time, along with the prescription of the path, it also very clearly enumerates the adhikari, the eligibility of the person who should be performing or who should be undertaking what kind of sadhanas. So the Vamachara sadhanas were not meant for everyone. The Vamachara sadhanas were meant only for those who have had sufficient Indriya Jaya, control over senses. Because, okay, what does Vamachara do? If I have to explain in a very simpler terms, we have to get over likes and dislikes. That is what is called as Samatva Buddhi. Even in Bhagavad Gita, when Bhagavan says or speaks about the Samatva or Samatvam Yoga Uchyate, etc., having a similar mindset while approaching both the objects which are considered desirous in the world as well as the objects which are considered or which are shunned by the world. One has to have a mind which is not deviated, or the mind which is not tilting towards any of them. That is called as the samatva. It is very, or not very easy, it is easier to get over our likes. But it is very, very hard to get over the dislikes. For example, if you were to ask me to desist from certain things which I like, say, for example, if you prescribe there is a 10 day uh, or a period of 10 days or 48 days, whatever, vrata or something, on which I should not eat, okay, whatever I like the most. I probably will be in a position to uh, do that. But it is very hard for me to remain neutral when something which I dislike is presented to me. So the Vamachara helped in overcoming this sense of dislike and disgust very, very fast by exposing the sadhaka to those elements. That is why it was not for the initiatory level, it was only for those who have had sufficient level of sense control. Number one. This is a simplistic explanation of the Vama Marga. Number two, the Vamachara also ensured that the mindset of the sadhaka is built in such a manner that it is absorbed in the sadhana much deeper and faster. So we speak of such great places where the wisdom of the tantra is tantra unfolded. When we consider most of these places, they were associated with the Vamachara. For example, the great cremation ground of the Karavirapura. Okay, the Karavira Smashana, we had from the Karavira Smashana, we had the greatest outpourings of the Kaula teachings, and Karavira is again in Kashmir.
Where is that?
In
Karavira?
Kashmir only. Karavira is in Kashmir.
I have not heard about. Okay.
It's an older name. In
Oh.
the Manthana Bhairava Tantra, a
Mhm.
lot is described about the Karavira Smashana,
Oh,
from where the entire Kaula Siddhanta originated.
Oh, okay.
The Kali Krama, or the
Correct.
Krama system.
Mhm.
The Kaula and the Krama system came from there, including Keyuravati and others. Okay, they were supposed to be the inhabitants of the Karavira Smashana. It is after Acharya Eraka, okay, in the Guru Parampara, when we see the Kashmir Guru Parampara, Acharya Eraka onwards, we don't have anyone after Acharya Eraka. Okay, Eraka was the disciple of the Keyuravati. So these places facilitated the uh, the advancements of the sadhana by preparing the mind and preparing the sadhaka for raising above the pairs of dualities. And specifically, the aspects of Devi worshipped, or the aspects of certain devatas worshipped by the Vamachara is also there. For example, Tripura Sundari was normally worshipped only using the Dakshinachara or the Kaula marga.
Hmm.
Whereas aspects of, let's say, even Kala Sankarashini, which is considered the highest, Swamiji also speaks a lot about Kala Sankarashini. Kala Sankarashini is the 13th Kali about the 12 Kali system that Acharya Abhinav Gupta speaks of. The description and all, when you look at it, okay, it is of the sadhana description, I'm saying, not the uh, the philosophical description. The sadhana description, they all adhere to the set of the Vama Margas because it cuts very, very strongly the ties. Not the ties with the physical world per se, but the mental ties. Okay, that the mental attachments are cut very fast in the Vamamarga. So when we call Devi as Vamamarga Ratha, it is in a specific context of who is eligible for our the Vamamarga. That is why it is also it's called as an Asidhara Vrata. A person who undertakes the Vamamarga, he's like walking on the blade uh, of sword. Okay, if he slips, then he will get into complete path of indulgence. So that is also possible, and many examples also we have uh, in the scriptures as well as live examples are also there. So it's a path that has to be practiced and mastered under the guidance of a guru who is an expert in the Vama Marga. Not everyone can train in Vama Marga. So, okay. So this is Vama Marga Ratha. Now there is a very interesting term there, the word Vama. Okay. So the next Nama of the Devi, which is Vama, it speaks about what is this Vama. Vama is the name of the Devi. Okay. Who in which aspect she is worshipped in the Vamachara. While explaining the term Vama, Vama or even something which is very, very attractive. The normal Sanskrit usage in the kavyas or in the poetry and others, Vama means something which is attractive. Okay. But we have specific way of looking at the term Vama. And while explaining the 12th sutra of Pratyabhijna Hridaya, which is Tad Aparigyane Swashaktibhir Vyamohitita Samsaritvam. That is the 12th sutra. Tad Aparigyane Swashaktibhir Vyamohitata Samsaritvam. By not knowing that Tad Aparigyane Swashaktibihi, by one's own Shakti, Vyamohitata, the delusion caused by one's own Shaktis is called as Samsaritvam, as being in the state of Samsara. So that is the sutra. In that particular sutra, while in the bhashya of that particular sutra, Acharya gives the etymological derivation of the word Vama as we understand in our system. He says, Bhagavati Chit Eva, Chit Shakti Reva. So who the Devata which we call as Vama, which is known by the name Vama, Sa Bhagavati Chit Shakti Reva is nothing but the pure consciousness. Vishwa Vamanat Vama. She is called as Vama because she brings forth the Vishwa. She brings forth the manifestation of the experienced world. So Vishwa Vamanat Vama. And immediately he offers another etymology for the same term. He says Samsara Vamacharatva. Samsara Vamacharatva. So what is Vamachara here, which Acharya is speaking? He is not referring to the sense in which the previous Nama explained the term. Here he says Samsara Vamachara, where the Samsara, the path of evolution of Jiva from Shiva. That is only samsara, right? When Shiva becomes Jiva, okay, at the Purusha level, and that Purusha, because he is already under the influence of the Shatkanchukas, he would require the objects of experience. So the objects of the experience and the instruments of the experience and the place where the experience has to be had and all these, they are created or they manifest in the subsequent manifestation from Purusha Tattva onwards, right up till Prithvi. So when we have the Panchabhutas are manifest as the objects of experience. The Jnanendriya functions as the instruments for cognizing the objects. Karmendriyas function as the means for interacting with the objects. So both of them are external. The Karmendriya and the Jnanendriya are the external modes of interacting with the objects. The internal mode of interaction is Manas. And there is one Buddhi Tattva over and above. All these. This is an evolution. So till Prithvi, it is evolution. Now, Devi, Vishwa or Samsara Vamachara, she is reversing this process of samsara. So what is the reversal? When Prithvi merges into Jala, Jala merges into the Agni, Agni merges into Vayu, Vayu merges into Akasha. Subsequently, till we reach Shiva, this process is called as a Vamachara. The reversal or the involution process. The previous one was the evolution process. This is the involution process. So the process of involution is also caused by her. Therefore, samsara vamacharatvat vameshwaryakhya. She is called as Vameshwari. And later on in the Bhashya, Acharya gives the names of fourfold Shaktis, Khechari, Gochari, Vikchari, and Bhuchari, and explains those Shaktis, how they function during the evolution and how they function during the involution. The same Shakti can also result in evolution, can also result in, or can also aid in evolution, can also aid in the involution. That is why the original sutra said, when we are deluded by our own Shaktis is Vameshwari presiding over the Khechari, Dikchari, Bhuchari, and the Gochari Shaktis. Okay. When the state of delusion, it results in samsara. When we realize, okay, it is reversed. So that reversal is the samsara vamachara. The same Devis aid in retaining our Shiva Bhava. From Pashu Bhava, retaining or realizing our Shiva Bhava. That is also done by the very same Shaktis. So since they reverse the process of samsara, she reverses the process of samsara. She is called as Vama or Vameshwari. This is the explanation for the word Vama. So Vama. Then another third sense in which the word Vama is used is Shiva Vamanga Vasini. Shiva Vamanga Vasini. One who resides on the Vama Anga, the left portion of Shiva. Okay, one who resides in the left portion of the Shiva. So, two ways of looking at it. Normally, when we see the images of Shiva and Parvati, okay, as two distinct entities, okay, in any of the iconographical representation, we'll find that the Devi will be standing to the left-hand side of Shiva. Not only here, any Devata representation, the concert will be standing to the left hand side of the Purusha Devata. All right. So this being on the left side, okay, that is Vama. But there is a catch in the Nama. The Nama said, Shiva Vama Anga. She is residing in the left part of Shiva. So clearly here the referencing is not to that forms where Shiva and Shakti stand as two distinct entities. Representation. Okay, iconographically when represented. When they stand as two distinct entities, okay, that form is not referred by Shiva Vama Anga Vasini. So then what is the form that will be referred to? The form that is referred to here is the Ardhanarishwara Swarupa,
Yeah.
wherein the left half is Devi and the right half is Shiva. Okay. Now, this is one of the highest principle. Ardhanarishwara Tattva is one of the highest Tattva in the Tantra Siddhanta. That is why Ardhanarishwara is the form worshipped in the Urdhva Amnaya. Urdhva Amnaya is considered to be the Amnaya or the paths above the normal four. Purva, Paschima, Dakshina and the Uttaramnaya. So Urdhvamnaya. Okay, the Urdhvamnaya Devata is Ardhanarishwara. Okay, that is from the ritualistic point of view. But all these stems from the underlying Siddhanta or the philosophical doctrine. So which is that philosophical doctrine that is responsible for or to explain this particular form of Ardhanarishwara? Our system has the beautiful thing of, while describing the 36 tattvas, Shiva and Shakti are for namesake treated as 1 and 2 if you were to number it. Okay. But essentially, you cannot distinguish one from the other. You cannot distinguish Shiva Tattva from the Shakti Tattva. For the sake of explanation, we explain what is Shiva Tattva and we explain what is the Shakti Tattva. But if we have to count, they have to be counted, okay, as one. Do we have proof? We don't have to look for proof anywhere else. Let's go back to Pratibhijna Hridaya itself. In Pratibhijna Hridaya, Acharya makes it very clear in the sutra, Sacha Ekaha, Virupaha, Trimayaha. Okay, and then he says, Sapta Panchaka Swabhavaha. Sapta Panchaka Swabhavaha. And while explaining that term Sapta Panchaka, he said, Shivadi Panchatrimshat Tattvani. He uses the term Shivadi Panchatrimshat Tattvani. Panchatrimshat means 35. Shiva Adi. Starting from Shiva, 55 tattvas. Acharya is not making an numerological error here. He knows what 36 is. So what he means is Shivadi is explained as Shivascha, Shivacha, Shiva. Okay? Shiva and Shiva are one. So when you treat that, then it is only 35. Okay, what is the speciality? To explain Shiva Vamanga Vasini. From the Tattvatitas, the 37th, if we can call, normally 37 is not the number used anywhere in our referencing we are calling it. Otherwise, from the Tattvātīta level, because at the Tattvātīta level, we are not speaking anything about the Srishti or anything. From the Tattvātīta level, when he descends because of the intention to create, then we have Shiva and Shakti. And for Shiva to recognize himself, he requires the Vimarshana. And that Vimarshana is only called as the Shakti Tattva. So Prakasha aspect is Shiva Tattva. Vimarshana aspect is the Shakti Tattva. And it is actually the Shakti which is emerging as the rest of the others. So Shiva reflecting upon himself in the Shakti Tattva. This is the aspect of Ardhanarishwara. I am not sure if all of you have observed in the iconographical representation of Ardhanarishwara. I don't know if I can share screen for a moment.
Yeah,
Can I?
sure. You can do that. Can you? Yeah.
I'll just share it for a moment.
I'm allowing it. Yes, you can do.
It says disabled participant.
You are not able to do that?
No, I'm not.
Okay, 1 minute. Can you try now? Oh, 1 minute. 1 minute, Shekharji.
Yeah.
Doing it.
No, if it is a hassle, it's okay. I will just explain. I thought better I can show.
No, we will try 1 minute. I'm trying to make you co-host, but it does not make it. 1 minute. I'm just trying to see. Hello. Okay. Just 1 minute. I'm just trying something else. Okay. No. No, Shekharji, it's not. I don't know. I'm not able to make you co-host.
No problem.
Tara, can you try?
Can I just share that image with you so that you
Yeah, you
yourself
can. You can share it on my WhatsApp. Let me share it. Yes.
Rakeshji, if you make him host, then he can make you host again.
Yeah, no. It's better. I will just share.
Yeah,
Much
you
easier.
can do that. Yeah.
Yeah, I just put it on our group itself.
Okay. Let me open that. Okay. I'm
Okay.
sharing my screen, Shekharji. You are able to see
Yeah.
it?
Yeah, we can see. So if you see the iconographical representation, you will find something very, very unusual. Normally, we miss noticing this. Can clearly see the right portion of Shiva, which is there. On the left portion, which is Shakti, actually it's a broken image. Okay, the
Right.
left portion is Shakti. Okay. Do you see what she is holding in her hands? She's holding a mirror.
Yeah, mirror. You're right. Okay.
She's holding a mirror.
Oh, right. Correct.
A reflection.
Right.
Okay, to suggest that the Prakasha reflects in the Vimarsha.
Ah. Very nice.
Okay.
Okay.
Ardhanarishwara is shown with the Shakti Bhaga is shown with a mirror in the hand.
Yes. Yes.
So Ardhanarishwara Tattva, Nataraja Tattva, they are the closest iconographical representation
Ah.
to the philosophy, the Pratyabhijna philosophy.
Okay. We'll go back to the text
Yeah,
again.
yeah, please, please, please.
Right.
Okay,
Yeah.
so Shiva Vamanga Vasini, one who resides on the left portion of Shiva as Ardhanarishwara. Next nama is Vamachara Priya. The first nama that we started off, that is Vama Margarata. And this nama, Vamachara Priya, looks similar. Okay. But there is a very subtle difference between the two namas. So when we call Devi as Vamachara Priya, one who delights in the Vamachara, the practices of the Vamachara. The implication is not that the Devi, because she at her ultimate Swarupa is beyond any likes or dislikes. So the word Priya is not to be understood the way we understand prayers in our usage. It means for Devi, whether you are indulging in the Samaya Marga or Vama Marga, you are still dear. It is referring to her affection, which is common for all the sadhakas who seek her. So when we call Devi as Vama Marga Priya, one for whom even a person indulging in the Vama Marga is as dear. So normal comparison that we see in the world, okay, this Acharya is better, this is more orthodox, therefore it is better and it is higher, and the others, okay, are unorthodox, therefore they are uh, uh, not superior, is not the tantric path. The tantric way of looking at all this is treating the margas, okay, or the approaches evenly. If the person has a particular temperament, he follows, he is capable, he is an adhikari for a particular form of achara or form of sadhana, then he is prescribed. The prescription of the path is purely the discretion of the Guru. He decides seeing the abilities and the qualities of the Sishya. My Shri Guru used to say that is why you should never compare notes with your Sahasishya, Sahabandhus. The path laid down for one need not be the same for the other, even though you are trained under the same Guru. So this is a and very, very individualistic prescription. Each one has his own methodology to follow. And since it is prescribed in the Tantragama, it will lead to the same path. Okay, I am very carefully choosing the word. I am not saying all paths lead to the same goal. Okay. Since the Tantragamas prescribe the paths, both the Vamamarga as well as the Samayachara, both will lead to the same paths, same goal. Otherwise, we have to resort to the Sutra of Pratyabhijna, wherein the different darshanas lead or are mapped according to which tattva they can, like last time we said, the tattva taratamya. Okay, so that is applicable there. But since it is prescribed within the Tantragama, they both lead to the same. So she or a person in Vamamarga is as much dear to Devi as a person in Samayachara would be. A Vamachara and the Samayachara both are dear to Devi because they are both prescribed by the Tantragamas, which are the teachings of Bhairava himself. So, Vamachara Priya. Next nama is Tushta. Tushta is one who is ever content. So this explains why certain actions, say for example, Bali and others, which we come across in the Tantra, is basically not for the preeti of the Devata herself as it is. It is an act, okay, which needs to be looked at from a very different aspect. Because Devi herself is ever content. She is Tushta. She does not require anything to make her happy. Otherwise, what will happen is the relationship will become transactional. The more you give, the more I will be happy, like the normal human transactions. That is not how it works at that level. So, the next nama being Tushta clarifies that the Achara and others that have been mentioned in the previous 3 or 4 namas, they are not for the sake of the Devata Preeti. They are to ensure that the sadhaka attains enough maturity in order to reflect upon his nature. And it is because of the variety exists in the kind of people we are. There are different paths prescribed for reaching that particular goal. So Tushta, she is ever content because she is Purna. She is full. Only when there is something to be added to make it complete, there will be a desire for that. If something is already full, then there is no desire. Therefore, she is ever content. So the nama is Tushta. The next nama reads as Lopamudra. Lopamudra. Lopamudra is the name of the wife of sage Agastya. So, we have countless references to Devi Lopamudra. And she is the wife of sage Agastya. And in the Srividya Sampradaya, Lopamudra is the Rishi for the Hadi Vidya. See, there are 3 types of Vidyas or 3 types of mantras or 3 streams of mantras under Sri Vidya itself. Okay, Sri Vidya comes from the Vamakeshwari Tantra, the path prescribed in the Vamakeshwari Tantra. One is called as a Kadi Mata, other is called as Hadi Mata, another is called as a Sadi Mata. Okay, Kadi is where the Rishi is Manmatha. The Rishi of the mantra is Manmatha. It is called as Kadi Mata because the mantra starts with the letter Ka. So it's a Panchadashakshari Vidya, 15-lettered mantra. Why it is called as Vidya? Because the term for mantra for a feminine deity is to be called as Vidya technically. That is why it is Vidya. Also, Kadi Vidya. The Hadi Vidya Rishi is Lopamudra. So, same logic, because the mantra starts or the Vidya starts with the letter Ha. So, it is called as Hadi Vidya. This is also Panchadashakshari only, 15 letters. Only that there will be slight difference in the starting letter now. And there is one Sadi, and that is the Hayagriva Mata. Okay, the Rishi is Hayagriva. So, Lopamudra was uh, uh, in the uh, in the in the Sampradaya, she is a Rishi by her own merit. Not only a Rishi, she is the promulgator of an entire new path. So Hadi as a Sampradaya, okay, is practiced. There are still a few practitioners of Hadi, but most commonly practiced Vidya is the Kadi Vidya. But there are still few practitioners of the Hadi Mata also. Not only that, Lalita Sahasranama, if you, which is another powerful hymn, it's in the form of a conversation between sage Agastya and Hayagriva. So, Hayagriva reveals the Sahasranama to Agastya. And that too after Agastya had gone around the world with full of unrest in his mind, finally reaches and the ashrama of Hayagriva and catches hold of his feet and asks him prodding question, and then Hayagriva replies and reveals the Sahasranama. All right. Now, immediately after Sahasranama, what happens? In the Brahmanda Purana, Lalitopakhyaana, this is supposed to be there. All right. But in the current editions, we don't find. Immediately after the Lalita Sahasranama, the next section is called as Lalita Trishati. 300 names of Lalita. Now, these 300 were considered to be much more powerful because for the Sahasranama, the Rishi were the Ashtavagdevatas. The 8 Vagdevatas were the Rishi of Sahasranama. But for Trishati, Kameshwara and Kameshwari, they were the Rishis. So it is coming from their own. And the 300 Namas are with the first letters or with the 15 letters of the Kadi Vidya. So, first 20 Namas will start with Ka. Next 20 Namas will start with A. Next 20 Namas will start with E. Like this. So, when we complete the 300, the entire Kadi Vidya has been represented. Now, between Sahasranama and Trishati, 3 years gap. The narration says there was a 3 years gap. And what was happening in the 3 years? Agastya was asking Hayagriva, I am still not satisfied. I still have longing in my mind. So, which means that there is something else that you need to give me to aid me in my sadhana. Give me that. And Hayagriva is not willing to, because he wants to test the eligibility of the Sishya. So he goes into silent mode. For 3 years, he is in silent mode. And for 3 years, Agastya is sitting on the feet of his guru Hayagriva. After 3 years, Lalita Kameshwara themselves appear in front of Hayagriva and they say, yes, he's eligible and you may give him the, you may reveal the Trishati Namas to him. While doing so, Devi Lalita Tripura Sundari makes one statement to Hayagriva. She says, his wife is my ardent devotee. Also, he is eligible. Therefore, you relieve him. And one of the nama in the Trishati, Lopamudrarchita. Devi who is worshipped by Lopamudra. Lopamudra Archita. So Lopamudra stands out not only as a Rishika, okay, a woman who was a Rishi, but also someone who had reached high levels of sadhanas even before Agastya Maharshi, her husband, had reached. So in this nama, when we see Devi as Lopamudra, okay, we may look at this nama from two perspectives. One, because finally, the difference between the sadhaka and the aradhya devata becomes no longer distinct. They merge into one. So here Devi is called Lopamudra because of the name of Lopamudra who worshipped her. So that is one way of looking at it. But from etymology point of view, if you were to explain this nama, where mudra attains lopa, where mudra attains lopa, okay, lopa means is cancelled, is elided. Where mudra becomes elided, is no longer there. What is the meaning of mudra? The physical hand gestures that we understand as mudra is that because it makes us realize certain principles. The fingers are representing certain principles and a particular pattern in which the fingers are intertwined, okay, during that particular mudra, okay, reminds us, therefore making us happy. Mudam rati iti mudra. Muda means happiness. That which gives us happiness. Therefore, gives happiness to the devata. Therefore, it is called as mudra. Mudra also means a distinction, a separate identity. It is in this sense that the word mudra is used for any insignia, any mark. Okay. Normally, in the time the thing, if a letter had to be sealed, it will be sealed with the personal insignia of a person. If it is a minister, then minister will have his own mudra, and with that will be sealed. If it is a king, then the king's personal mudra will be there. So that personal mark of the person, okay, was called as a mudra because that is that distinction. So mudra means the distinct entity or the distinct existence. So lopa mudra means where all distinctions are elided. I don't identify myself with either the Deha or with the Puriyashtakas or with Prana or with Shunya. This is how we have to explain using the Tantra Marga. In the Tantra Marga, we normally don't use the Panchakosha as an example. Okay? Panchakosha is a different way of looking. In here, we have the Deha, then we have the Puriyashtaka, okay, then we have Prana, we have Shunya, and within Shunya is Chit. The fifth principle is the Chit here. So, where I don't identify myself with any of this, and I don't exist as an anu, as an individual anymore. I am universal consciousness. I am universal Chit. That state is called as Lopa Mudra, where the mudra has become Lopa, where it has got, where the individuality has been erased. So, when we refer to Devi as Lopa Mudra, we are referring to that state where there are no distinctions, there is no individual. So, she is Lopa Mudra. And this happens because she is Prabodhini. Prabodhini, one who awakens. Bodha means understanding. Prakrishta Bodha, Prabodha. So Prabodhini, one who bestows upon us the state of supreme awareness. When she bestows upon us this supreme awareness, we are no longer identifying ourselves with the limitations, with the vikalpas, but because now the Kanchukas have fallen, we realize ourselves as Shiva himself. So that is what the next Nama Prabodhini stands for. So that is Prabodhini. The next Nama is Bhutatma. This we will start because there is a continuity from.
Sure, Shikhar ji. Thank you, Shikhar ji. Namaskar.